In the universe of Horizon, there may be no more pivotal event than the Faro Plague, the catastrophe that would eradicate all life on Earth in the 21st century and give birth to Project Zero Dawn. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect of this apocalypse is its inevitability, for once the glitch that initiated the rogue swarm was recognized as a threat, it was already too late. Yet many of us are driven to search for alternatives that may have thwarted the swarm's path of destruction, potentially saving the world we know from ending. One thought that has become more prevalent than ever amongst our community is the possibility of using another swarm to combat the rogue one, turning the very tech destined to doom the planet into its salvation. This because its greatest strength potentially could be used against it, this being its essentially unhackable security systems. One of the greatest obstacles facing the human resistance during Operation Enduring Victory was the knowledge that it would take some 50 years for a system to generate the deactivation codes necessary to shut down the entire swarm, thus making a mass deactivation unworkable in the 16 months Enduring Victory could stall the swarm. So why not simply manufacture more chariot line bots to combat the rogue ones rather than send the human populace to the front lines? If they were both really unhackable, this should have at the very least brought the two robotic forces to a stalemate, both unable to take control of the other and match the self-replication capabilities of their adversary. In the best case scenario, even outpace the rogue swarm's manufacturing and eradicate them completely, seemingly a very workable solution. So why didn't this happen? During Elizabeth Sobeck's briefing with the US Joint Chiefs, she states a very pivotal line of dialogue that could provide the answer to our question.
If we upgrade our fleet, crack the code somehow...
Were you not listening? Robots can't do the fighting for you this time. When it comes to hacking, this rogue swarm is an apex predator. Anything automated you throw at it, they will hijack and take over.
This rogue swarm is an apex predator. A very telling statement, one that says this particular group of chariot line robots, those responsible for the end of the world, were somehow more advanced than anything else available to mankind, most likely including other Faro robots. This seems even more evident because the United States most likely had chariot line models as part of their military forces pre-plague. Evidence towards this conclusion first appears within the data point Hearts Wins Bahamas, this segment in particular. Nassau, December 22, 2062. After weeks of skirmishes between the robotic forces of US-backed Hearts Corporation and the Columbia-based Combine TG Communications, the islands that compose the former Commonwealth of the Bahamas have been officially acquired by Hearts, pending a successful request for enfranchisement. Since it was the swarm owned by the Hearts Corporation that began the plague, we know they were using chariot line bots. Being that they were joined by the United States in this conflict, this may point to the United States using Faro technologies as well. But perhaps even more definitively is the fact that by the year 2045, the United States was moving heavily towards automated military technologies. Add that to the fact that FAS controlled 61% of automated military platforms by the year 2055, and being that today the US military budget accounts for roughly 45% of the 25 highest global military budgets, it's almost impossible that Faro was not contracted by the United States. Especially if the US wanted to retain their position as a military superpower, it makes sense that they would want the most advanced automated combat machines of the era at their disposal, these obviously being the chariot line. In summary, it seems the biggest factor towards not sending controlled swarms against the Rogue One is that they in fact no longer had equivalent hacking capabilities, making any previous chariot line models susceptible to manipulation to those being produced by the Rogue Swarm. If this is indeed the case, this may leave us with more questions than answers concerning the glitch, if it even was a glitch at all. Answers that for now must be left until we hopefully gain more clarity in the next chapter of Horizon's story. And that brings this chronicle to a close. Special thanks to community member and Horizon lore master Bearborg for his contribution and collaboration in the making of this video. If you'd like to see more content like this, likes and shares are always appreciated, and if you really like what we're doing at the channel, come and join our community and hit that subscribe button. Also consider supporting the channel on Patreon to help us create new series and to supply more quality content just like this. Check out the link in the description. The topic for today's video came from one of you, our awesome subscribers, so if you have a great idea or interesting question that could lead to our next episode, let us know in the comments down below. And until next time, thanks for watching and keep questing.